Welcome back, everyone, and yes, Archive of Nethys is back, or is coming back. A lot's been going on, and if you're not familiar, let's do a quick rundown of what this whole, not controversy necessarily, but this whole set of news and why so many people are excited about it. So, starting off, Archive of Nethys is an archiving site for Pathfinder, completely okayed by Paizo, that has been one of the best websites for getting all things Pathfinder and Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Any rule you look up, any item you want to find, it's one of the easiest accessible sites when it comes to getting information for Pathfinder 2nd Edition, and with a game that is so dense and has so many different rules, items, classes, all that kind of stuff, having an archive website that you can find anything you're looking for in any of their published books is a godsend. But for those of you who have been using Archive and Nethys, there's been a bit of a minor controversy in the fact that Archive and Nethys has not updated with the new remaster or anything since the remaster, which was back in the middle of November when it released. Now, Archive of Nethys has been doing their best to get the information out, but we're already here getting towards the end of February, and they just announced that the new revised version of the site to incorporate both the legacy version of the rules and the remaster version of the rules is coming in the next couple weeks, which is a little bit of a downside for everyone. But why is this the case? Why did Archive and Nethys take so much time to get into it? Well, I brought up for you guys the Twitter here where they've been posting all the updates, and we're going to look over the individual steps and how they came to where they are currently. But before I do, if you like this kind of content, or if you want to keep up to date on all things TTRPG related, not just Pathfinder, go ahead and leave a like on this channel so other people have a higher chance of seeing this content, and subscribing, because TTRPGs is what I live and breathe for, and so, you're going to get valuable content here. But anyway, let's go ahead and check it out. All right, so first was this update on November 14th, which is the remaster update is coming soon. Due to the amount of changes needed, we will be updating closer to the end of the month than the actual street date, which was about around this time. We'll release a final date once we know. Thank you for your patience. So this got a lot of people excited. Now, this was, of course, a bit late, but everyone was understanding because most of the website itself is unfortunately manual data inputs. You can't just slide the book or a version of the PDF into a machine and get all the information that Archive of Nethys produces. So it all has to be done by hand. And let's go ahead and take a look at the website itself. All right, so Archive of Nethys that we have here behind me, it's a little bit clipped. I'm sorry for that. I'm using a different setup that I'm trying to preserve. Anyway, this website here is not a bad looking website. They always have these posts on the front page that indicate what's been going on, what's been happening. This was the most recent one talking about the remaster and all the changes and all that. And the most recent one before that one was back in October on the 18th, where they added a bunch of stuff from the Adventure Pass, which, by the way, they also include information from the Adventure Pass, because sometimes the Adventure Pass include unique items in addition to archetypes that you can use for your characters, making this even more of a godsend for people who just want to play the game without necessarily playing the Adventure Pass. And up here at the top, you can see that they even have a first edition version of the website and Starfinder, and I guarantee they're probably going to have a Starfinder second edition. Now, they're not paid by Paizo, or if they are, it's not salary. They might get like a donation here or there from Paizo to keep it up. I'm sure Paizo likes to take care of people who like their products, but most of how they get the funds for the people who work on the website is through this Patreon link on the Support the Archives. Now, most of the people, and this will be mentioned a little bit later, who work on the website, actually all of them, have another job. Working on this website is not their primary job. So, as we can see, this website is really good. I mean, anytime you hop to the class pages, we can go to, let's go to Thaumaturge. No, actually, let's go to Alchemist. because there's something I want to flip through here. So you can see alchemists. Not only do you get like all their feats, you get recommended kits starting out for alchemists, sample builds, research fields, everything from the books. You get all the information. It's pretty well laid out. And anytime you have a thing that mentions a particular feat, like this one, they have a pop out. They have a pop out that shows what it is, or you can click it and go to a individual page for each and every item and feat in the game. And in addition, they link everything. So everything that uses essentially alchemical crafting, like the assassin dedication, is also included here as well. So you can see here how the site is very good, very invaluable to everyone who really loves playing Pathfinder 2nd Edition. And of course, why it's been so unfortunate that they've been so behind on updating the remaster. So here now is their next update that was done on November 30th, where they link to not necessarily a tweak longer, but like a blog on what looks like Rosewinds LLC. And this particular update shows some of the stuff they're changing. And let's go ahead and take a look. So you can see here that they're looking at adjusting some more of the themes so that you can set it to either remaster or legacy. And they're even doing hyperlinks that go between the legacy version and the remaster version here, as well as some other things. Now, if you don't like this color palette in particular, this is very neutral. They have actually a set of color palettes available on the website. So you can go back to the same color scheme that I typically use, what I just showed you before. But yeah, so they're showing here the like what actually are shown in the books, the GM core and all this layout, and the player core and all this layout. And I don't think you're going to do this for necessarily everything, but having these available for some of the actual books, I think is really good, especially for people who want to use this, because Paizo, as I've mentioned before, is completely okay having pretty much their whole game available for free online. It's crazy, I know, but it's been working out for them. The more people who play the game, the more people who are likely to buy their products, after all. So that being the case, on the 30th, they were already making some pretty decent changes. They were already formatting the website, and the biggest problem up to this point has been purely data entry. It takes a lot of time because pretty much everything that they do has to be done by hand. Now, even here on the 30th, they're saying, okay, it's going to be another 2 weeks. They're saying, we're still not 100% sure on the date yet, but we're hoping to be done with the remaining work in around 2 weeks. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at their next tweet. So their next tweet here came out on December 22nd, which is about 3 weeks after their last one, and definitely not within the time that they've mentioned. They're apologizing, and to be fair, this is right during the holiday season, and so things are going a little bit slower than anticipated. And yet we have another thing here, another blog essentially talking about what's been going on. This blog in particular has been doing some Q&A as answering some of their most commonly asked questions they've been seeing on the website, through emails, and of course on Twitter. So as you can see here, they say that normally for the data entry, they do fine with their team, but they might look for hiring people on, at least temporarily, for bigger projects like the remaster, like they're going to be doing this coming summer. But a lot of this is like potential answers the community has been making and why it doesn't necessarily work. And the biggest thing that comes down is, why don't they do like an open database thing where people can help? And they said they tried that before, but they spent more time fixing mistakes than it would have actually taken them to just do it themselves. So it didn't really work out, because who would have figured when you open things up to the public, there's going to be a lot of mistakes because they just don't have the same, not just anyone can just work on something without making mistakes. You know what I mean? So this is a lot of what's been going on. It's a lot of data entry, a massive tons of data entry. And more importantly, they just don't have the team or people dedicated to do it enough. And you might ask, why doesn't Paizo hire more people to do this or have their own team? And there are other websites that have kind of done this before, but Paizo is not a all-powerful company. They don't have infinite funds to work on stuff like this. And in all honesty, Archive of Nethys is still a site that pretty much gives out their whole game for free. So they have less incentive to actually invest in it, even though they do invest in it aplenty by themselves. They just aren't going to dedicate a ton of time to doing this and instead focus on producing the material that would go on the site, which I'm personally thankful for, because I think that Paizo does a really good job with Pathfinder 2nd Edition and, of course, Starfinder 2nd Edition that's going to be coming up here soon. So now we move up from December 26th to January 8th. They're being very consistent, posting about every 2 to 3 weeks here, which is something that I think we should all be thankful for. And again, it's another blog post, so let's go ahead and take a look at that. And this time, it's a blog post saying that they've been progressing a lot. Now, they did have a lot of people who were off for the last couple weeks of December, which makes a lot of sense. But at this point, on December 8th, which is over a month ago now, I might add, they're 80 to 90% done with the spells in the game, which is probably the most expansive part because there's so many spells, and 25 to 30% done with the feats, and 15% done with the magic items. Now, this is a big process, and a lot has changed, and they can't just copy paste a lot of things, as we saw during the remaster. Copy pasting did lead to a lot of errors that weren't very good. So at this point, they're saying that they're getting a lot closer. They still have over a month of data entry before where we're currently at. And they're showing this is the update of on the site for everything that's new. And it goes well beyond the image here. So we're making a lot of progress, but they're still not ready out. And this is now going into 2 months after their initial, like when they should have released it, and almost 2 months into when they said they were going to release it. But we didn't hear anything for over a month. Or, I'm sorry, my apologies, not over a month, almost a month. But it's been about a month. This is February 3rd. Last one was January 8th, where they say they're nearing the finish line again. And let's see what they have to say about this one. And in this one, they're saying they're in the final stretch, but a lot of the members of the team have just been forced to travel lately, and data input has been really slow. They've also said there's also been some questions about, like, okay, so are we not going to see Monster Core stuff for a few months? And they were saying here that a large part of what the delays have been is because they have to change the site's overall code and how the database is structured. A task that they will not need to repeat for future books. So this is something that's very big, because now pretty much what they're saying is that all future inputs are going to be much easier, and it's just going to be data input. Now, they're not putting out a call for hiring it as it shows here, but they might consider it for bigger projects. It just depends. Right now, I mean, again, they're not doing it for money. They're doing this donation based, and this is just for the community. So with this, we now are caught up to where we are currently at, where it says right here that after a long and exhausting process, they can see the light at the end of the tunnel. They're going to release a date this Sunday for the much vaunted Player Core and GM Core updates. And this was on February 22nd. So very recently, and then just a couple days ago, or I guess just yesterday, it's officially been announced for March 13th. This is the most for sure they've ever been done. And you can find some of this on their Patreon page as well. And now, hopefully, in the next 2 weeks, 2+ weeks, we're finally going to get the remaster version of Archive of Nethys up. Now, personally, this is something I'm very thankful for. I used Archive of Nethys a lot for work, and this just makes running and playing the game easy, because Pathfinder is a game I love so much, but in order to get the most out of the game, you need tons of different books and materials to get every little thing so that you can make your most unique and interesting character. And as someone who does a lot of builds, in fact, I'm actually working on a build right now using the remaster stuff. And once this gets done, my job gets a lot easier. And I'm also going to be doing a new series where I'm going to go back through the different classes, tell you why they're awesome now here in second edition. So that's very exciting. I can't wait to get to that series. And yeah, hopefully this video helps informs everyone what's been going on, lets you guys know that stuff is being worked on March 13th, if they release the actual site, I will be doing another video announcing its release for all my viewers. Anyway, that's going to be it for me. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Hopefully, it gave you the information you need. There's light at the end of the tunnel. We'll be getting Archive and Nethys back, especially for those who live in countries who don't have easy access to buy the books because they're so expensive. I know that's a very big thing. And sites like Archive and Nethys really help out with that. So, if you have any opportunity to do so, donate to their Patreon, be subscribed to their Patreon, whatever, to help out Archive and Nethys. It's something that I've done in the past and would love to see more people support this wonderful website. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Good luck with your games. Leave the bad luck to me, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.